So we're going to clap it up in 3, 2, 1. Baby, we're back.
Yes,
Organized Sound Podcast. We're in the new studio, which you might have saw during the Anthony Prieto interview. But we're back at it, kids, and we have the original co-host, Sean Grady, joining us today. And we had to do our XXL reaction video. Craziness. I think I shot 60% from the field.
You were pretty good.
Let me pull up my list. You have your list, right?
I do. You want to read your original list?
Yeah, you go ahead first.
Okay, so let's see how many I got. I got 3 right.
What?
Yeah.
Ha!
Okay.
I slaughtered you.
Here were the 3 I got right.
Okay.
I had Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
Ugly God.
Wow.
P&B Rock.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
That's a clutch 3 though.
Yeah, that's not terrible. So the ones I guessed who didn't make it: Joey Perp, No Name, D.R.A.M, Big Baby Drum.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
They didn't even explore that in the interview, like why he didn't make it.
Yeah, no one talked about it.
Either they didn't consider him a rapper, which is weird because we've said they've done August Alsina and stuff, or he felt too big for it, which is fair.
Yeah,
like
and that's another
artist.
tricky thing. I'm not sure which artists they've contacted who have declined to be on the cover. So
They said, well, there was the XXL interview on the Breakfast Club that you didn't watch. And she said pretty much no one declined it, but then kind of said Young M.A. kind of declined it. Young M.A. said, oh, I think I'm too big. I think I deserve a solo cover at this point. And so you can take that as you... Everyone can take that as they will. And I guess XXL was still thinking about offering her the freshman cover after saying that. And... opted not to.
I did not hear about that.
And opted for, obviously, another girl in Kamaya.
Right. But back to D.R.A.M.
Which I know for a fact no one had on their list. Nobody called out 10 of these.
No one had that in their bracket. But, yeah, with Big Baby D.R.A.M, it's interesting. It's after 2015, he released Cha Cha. As we know, that kind of got recreated into Drake's Hotline Bling.
Right.
And then he bounced back last summer in a huge way with Lil Yachty, kind of capitalizing off of his recent fame, and they had the smash hit at the Summer Broccoli. So it's interesting to have an artist like Anderson .Paak on in 2016 to bring Anderson .Paak on, and then kind of keep D.R.A.M off after these big numbers. I'm pretty sure Broccoli's already gone platinum and just
many platinums,
and yeah, probably in the hundreds of millions of views on YouTube. I'm sure of it. So for him to not be on the list is certainly surprising. But T Grizzly was someone I originally had on my list who didn't make it. Ski Mask.
Yeah, that was a good pick. That was a good pick, T Grizzly. A lot of people wanted him. He was on a lot of people's lists. He had to be defended. XXL basically said they thought it was early for him, and I get that.
Yeah, that's what you said. So you agree with that?
Yeah, if he's on next year, that's fine, right?
I felt like he was putting up huge numbers with the few videos he did have.
Right, and I think that's another thing of it. How much do you have to have out to be considered? But then again, you can't have too much out, or it's like you're too much of a veteran for it.
Right.
So it's about catching artists in this odd window, and it's an accelerated window. This is the 10th anniversary. Like, that window is so much more accelerated than 10 years ago.
Oh, even. Definitely.
Because, like, to have, these are young kids. These are, like, teenagers, early 20s people getting picked. And it used to be, like, I would say mid-20s. All around.
Oh yeah, look at Future. It took Future forever to kind of get recognition.
No, Future probably, like Future, Schoolboy, they probably Ty Dolla $ign. They got it in their late 20s. Oh, we are introducing Aunt Prieto. Thank you for joining the show. Friend of the podcast, been in a different podcast. We'll catch up with him later. Okay, talk more about. Just go through the rest of your list that you had.
So Ski Mask was a snub.
Ski Mask was kind of a snub, but I see why they went with XXXTentacion. We argued this. It's weird
because like X has admitted Ski is a better rapper.
X has admitted Ski is a better rapper, and we were kind of talking about this, which is how much does your celebrity matter versus how much your music matters? And I mean, you can't lie. You can't deny that X has a bigger following. And what's interesting is X was the 10th spot winner, which they said 300,000 people voted for him to be the 10th spot. So they were not going to pick
anyone else.
They were not even going to pick, any of these new Florida guys. Shout out Lil Pump, shout out Joey. What's Lil Pump's sidekick's name? Smoke Perp. And, shout out to those guys. I'm sure they're going to be on it soon.
Speaking of young talent, how old is Lil Pump? 16.
16.
Florida
he dropped out of Harvard to save the rap game.
Yeah, right.
God bless him. Go through the rest of your list.
So then it was just Nav, and then we had Famous Dex. Nav was something I put in. I thought he just had a few songs that I thought would propel him. It's kind of like Ugly God. Ugly God only had water, and that was enough to kind of propel him.
Right.
The Booty Tape's been a delayed project, and it seems like it's kind of like how everyone was waiting for Cardi's debut. Everyone's waiting for the Booty Tape. But it was really just that one song, and I'm not saying he's a bad rapper. I just haven't heard a collection of songs from him that I think would warrant a cover spot. But
I got you.
Maybe that's, and it's like we talked about.
I have an insight.
Okay.
They freaking gave it to him instead of Famous Dex. Like, hello.
Right. And that's
I really feel that. Like, they were like, oh yeah, let's do like him.
He's a safe choice.
He's just right in that same lane.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, we're not doing Famous Dex. Let's do one of those type of guys.
But we talked about their approach for discovering and choosing artists to have on the cover, because it seemed like in the past few years they had selected people who had already kind of established a buzz and a fan base.
Right.
But now it seems like they're trying to head that off a little and catch people who are on the precipice of kind of exploding into the mainstream.
Right.
Or at least into the national spotlight.
And what Ant, who's been the third feature on this show, Ant was telling me that, Ugly God's linked up with Rick Rubin, and that, he's got a good relationship with Sway. And
so is Drum.
But
yeah.
These things probably helped him too.
Oh, right. You definite cosigns in rap. It's interesting listening to Peter Rosenberg and Adam from No Jumper. They talk about how
great interview.
Yeah, they're prepping when they do prep work, when they have rappers on, and sometimes they get shit from the people who watch and listen to these podcasts because they don't do enough prep work, but they'll try to get people on so the fans will be happy and these artists can gain exposure. But sometimes they said it kind of works against them because people are upset that they don't already know who these artists are. And so that was interesting to talk about how someone can have such a big following, but like someone who's high up in rap media may not know who these people are. But it was just interesting to see that some people already have established fan bases and are getting upset at people like Peter Rosenberg for just not knowing who these certain people are. But
right. And I mean, Breakfast Club, Charlamagne Tha God kind of said, and Joe Budden, Everyday Struggle, they were like, I feel old. I don't know who these people are. I only know who these people are because of the other young kids that pointed them out to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, things are hyper accelerated. People are just coming up super fast. Like, it used to be like a year. You needed to at least have a year before you could be considered to have blown up. Now you can do it in 6 months.
I would also say that I think the attention span of just the general rap fan is shorter than ever.
Ooh.
So that being said, do you think that it's more difficult?
Gotta be.
So that's why
I think that's why a song like Lil Pump Boss bumps so hard, minute 48.
That's true.
No, that's the way.
And that's a lot of ski songs too. Even Baby White, 2 minute 2:30 cap. I think it definitely appeals to the younger generation, but with that short attention span, it kind of makes it harder for some people to kind of hold the spotlight for longer periods of time, just because of this attention span from the fans.
Did you go through your whole list yet?
Famous Dex was the last one.
Famous Dex.
So we feel like he was a snub. Both of us feel that way. Obviously,
huge snub, and they addressed it on that Breakfast Club interview with Vanessa from XXL, where it's he basically just didn't get it because of this whole incident with his girlfriend, and even though it's pretty far in the past,
we're not downplaying.
They made the call that it's not kosher,
and we're not downplaying any type of abuse.
They went away from it.
And I
think it's fair. You're gonna make a statement, you're gonna make a stand, and say our company, our entity does not support that, and go ahead. That's fair. I guess we were debating if Famous Dex could be on it next year, right? If
since this attention
it's kind of like a suspension from the league. Are you now eligible to be a part of it? After that, I think that would kind of be cool. It would kind of feel like G Herbo being on it super late in proper Chicago style.
Right.
Why not, right?
Yeah, I think he'll make it. It's just interesting he didn't make it this year, and I think he, obviously what he did was terrible. No one wants that kind of footage to be leaked. But I think he handled it. I think he handled it the only way he could. Right. That was also the best way to handle it. Yeah. He didn't run away from it. He manned up. He realized it was a mistake. And like he mentioned, like that's now the mother of his child. There's going to be the mother of his child.
Right.
So,
is.
Right.
Famous.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
So
Famous Dexter.
Congrats, Dexter. Yeah. That's bearing these things, putting them in the past. Things that happened in the past, just whatever. You got to move on and you got to keep working. But I thought he's been putting in the work.
He's done so much. It's absolutely.
Yeah.
He puts out like a music video every 2 weeks, maybe. Puts out a mixtape like every 3 months. Dexter Meet Dexter is coming out very soon. Like, he's done so much, which is like, then you compare it to an Ugly God who got it, and it's like, yeah, you've outworked your peers, you've outworked the hell out of them, and you have your slight misstep, and you kind of don't get to have the glory for it.
So who's your biggest snub?
The Famous Dex. It's a landslide. When I saw this list, I said it's XXX Tentacion, Playboy Cardi, and Famous Dex are the only people guaranteed for this. Guaranteed. And he, we don't even talk about Rich the Kid anymore. He became unguaranteed. Right, Rich the Kid. I was thinking, oh yeah, because Famous Dex is signed to Rich the Kid, and Rich the Kid was kind of not interested in doing XXL and kind of diss them a little. Maybe they're holding that grudge against Famous Dex because that's the same label or whatever, but no, that's not it. Something else. Holding Famous Dex back. But, I think he's very special, and I don't think this will... the conversation was, well, is Dexter going to be able to rise above this and be a star? Like, he's a star. He's coming. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to stop, like, this rapid music production. And, yeah.
Yeah, you can't match that kind of energy.
He's up next.
He's definitely the most energetic person in the rap game.
Right, he's unmatched.
That's not even close, but I'd argue that Ski is probably the bigger snub. And
you'd argue that Ski is the bigger snub.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I think it's still a narrow audience, and I think Ski also suffers from the amount of work that's out. Does he have a mixtape? I look at his SoundCloud, and it's like there's like 4 or 5 really big songs.
Mm-hmm. Right. It used to be easier to predict XXL covers because you'd see who put out like an impressive body of work, whether it be a mixtape or a debut album. And Ski was generating buzz, and not only from his mixtape last year, but his upcoming one. And with all this beef with Rob Stone going on with him and X by his side, I thought that propelled him to this type of fame where I thought he was assured the cover spot. But I think he deserves it more for just his ability to fit as many words into a sentence and make it sound good. I think he's one of the best composers in rap in terms of like how it comes off to the listeners. And he cares about his fans.
Yeah, he's technically very good.
And when he was at Rolling Loud, that was I watched footage of his Rolling Loud concert.
Rolling Loud? What? Rolling Loud was like that festival that was like poorly managed like 2 years ago that like no one watched. Like Rolling Loud was the biggest thing in hip hop this year.
Oh, definitely. Probably. I watched Ski's his concert. Yeah. I watched Chief Keef's performance.
I loved it.
And it was so Ski and like we were talking about
Chief Keef fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Short attention span. Ski's, I think his performance
20 minutes
clocked in 17.
Oh,
yeah, so just shy of 20 minutes.
Right.
But that was probably the most energetic crowd that I saw.
Dope.
And I don't think many people. This was in Florida, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So hometown. And also, I don't think many people feel Chief Keef anymore, or at least.
It depends. He's hot on these streets.
It depends who you talk to. Yeah.
I would argue watch his vlogs. I don't know. I'd love to shout out the dude that's like filming his vlogs, but his vlogs are lit, and Chief Keef's on the road. Chief Keef's doing shows.
He's on the road, but he's getting in trouble too again.
At Brooklyn Bowl, like a few months ago, and like even the old songs still go hard. New songs are great too.
Mm-hmm. So
what kind of trouble?
You listen to any Chiefs projects this year, or
we're not gonna stray away from XXL just yet. We'll get back to Chief. I will now read my list. So I had A Boogie with the Hoodie, got him. Young M.A. It's so weird. Like, I pretty much did 100% on this list, except for the fact that this bullshit happened. Young M.A., which would have been Playboy Cardi, got it. Rich the Kid, probably should have, would have been. Famous Deck should have, would have been. PNB Rock called it. XXX Tentacion called it. Joyner Lucas, Massachusetts Stand Up. I went to see Joyner at YouTube Space in the wake of his new album. The new album's dope. He lyrically could probably put all these people on the list to bed. But, Massachusetts just isn't at that level yet. But Massachusetts is coming. Massachusetts music is coming. I hope.
It's on the rise.
I hope you're all sleeping on it. It's gonna be Florida status. It's gonna be Chicago status, Atlanta status, hot.
It's gonna take a while to
there's
get there.
Mad Massachusetts artists, and they are building and growing and coming.
100% agree. Coming into the next decade, we're going to see a lot of people come out.
It's going to be like Chicago. There's going to be, people in the streets rapping.
It's not going to be just Massachusetts rap. It's going to be Eastern, and it's going to be Western. You're going to hear differences, but
Eastern,
it's going to take
Western,
a while. It's going to take
Boston,
a while to establish that sound.
These kids on the border of New Hampshire, these kids on the border of Connecticut.
I'll check out Springfield artists from
huge underground scene.
Oh, absolutely.
Giant. And now people are getting to know each other. We're totally biased. We're from Massachusetts. Okay. Where was I? Where was I in my gloating? PNB Rock called it. XXX Tentacion called it. Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas is kind of a snub. I bet you they'd say something like, oh, he's signed to Atlantic and we knew his album was coming out, so that disqualifies him. Kyle called it. Made in Tokyo called it. I want to talk Cardi.
Let's talk Cardi.
I don't think a podcast has gone by between you and I where I haven't brought up Cardi.
You'd be correct.
Am I on the...
Yeah,
I'm on a run.
Yeah, you're on the ball.
Dude, this is my guy. His mixtape was so good. Me and Sean talked about it last time. He was just out in New York hanging out as friends. Me and Sean are actually friends.
Believe it or
outside of this.
Chemistry just isn't on camera.
And, man, if you watch that whole Breakfast Club interview I keep referencing, they said Playboy Cardi 27 times. Who do you think is the biggest person on this list? Playboy Cardi. Who do you think has the most buzz? Playboy Cardi. Who do you think is going to be the next superstar? Playboy Cardi. They just talked Cardi up and down, and I'm so happy because there's people on my Facebook shitting on Cardi all the time, and I'm just you don't understand he's so big in New York.
I want to ask why, but I'm not going to listen to it.
It is.
Yeah, he's already made it.
Oh my god. It kills me.
We don't need to state the obvious. He's obviously very talented. And he fits the mold of these, he's dope. Kind of the shorter songs.
Come on this podcast, Cardi. I know. Oh, man. You are an elusive man. You don't do many interviews and shit, but come on this podcast.
Please.
Because you're in New York. We're in New York. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And I went to a show. He had a show at the Knockdown Center, on a random Saturday, right after the mixtape, and he did not post about it on any social media, and he probably sold it out in less than 7 days, and I only knew about it because I got served an Instagram ad about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was packed with kids. I talked to a bunch of these kids after, and I was well, who's your favorite rapper? We had rap conversations, and they were Cardi's my favorite rapper. 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and I was man, this guy has the streets on lock, has the youth in his pocket. He's going. He's absolutely going.
Even from because he does it all from a fashion standpoint.
Yeah.
And just his voice is very definitive. You can definitely separate him.
And his songs are just so much fun. It's weird. He's not the most technically skilled rapper out.
Yeah,
by far.
Right. Some people say there's too much of an emphasis on ad-libbing, but I'd argue that's what makes him different.
Yeah.
He shouldn't
and we know that works. And me and Sean also talked about how he kind of sounds like Atlanta, he kind of sounds like New York, and he kind of sounds like LA, and it works really well. I remember the early Playboi Carti songs I showed Sean, were like Holyfield and stuff. And Sean was like, man, this guy sounds like Chief. And I was like, yeah, but then he's also doing a whole lot of other stuff that's really cool.
Oh, yeah, he's grown as an artist.
He's the guy.
He came into his own. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else you want to talk about? I want to talk about PNB Rock because I feel like he definitely has this more narrow attention on him, and I didn't know about him. Like, I came to New York. I originally moved to New York in November. Didn't know who PNB Rock was. He was on a bill with Shy Glizzy Day Day for a tour, and then in the nth hour, Famous Dex is like, oh yeah, I'm going to be there. And so then I was there, and I just saw PNB Rock, and he just like killed it. He had all this swag. I went to see him again like 2 weeks later in Jamaica, Queens. No, maybe like 2-3 months later, Jamaica, Queens, and like he just brings all the girls out. He's got this smooth swag. There she go. Every time she walk by, oh man,
yeah.
I'm so happy for him and his ascension and his, I've seen him doing a lot of radio in New York recently. I've seen him at Summer Jam. He had a little stage set there, and yeah, he's somebody I'm very much a fan of. Recently.
I'm happy he made the list because he's someone I'm not sure if he didn't make it this year. I'm not sure if he would have fared well next year, but right. I'm hoping this kind of, allows him to continue his successful run, into this next decade or whatever. But yeah, he's, one of the more melodic people on this list, and, much deserved cover spot.
Let's talk about Cap G. Were you familiar with Cap G?
Okay, someone showed me one song of his.
Right.
I forgot the song name. I don't
Girlfriend?
know. Yeah,
that's the song I keep hearing about.
I think so.
I'm not as familiar with Cap G. Obviously, I think there's a big disconnect between LA and New York.
Right, it depends on where you are.
Because I'm sure like people are like, oh yeah, Kamaya. But in New York it's like, huh? And I did hear on the big YG Drake song though, so I'm not gonna lie. But it just felt out of left field. But I think you can be a very big artist and just not be that big in New York. I think of like G-Eazy. G-Eazy was probably way bigger in LA way before he was really big like nationally. Because I know he's been doing it a while. And it can be hard to, market your music around the entire country, especially if you're on the fringes of being independent and really on the come up like that. Even with a big song, I feel that a lot of LA people can go under the radar in this market.
Easily. Yeah, and it's just, we talk about Kamai. It just depends on where you're listening because, in some circles, probably in LA, people would be asking who Ski Mask is. It just depends on where you are geographically, and that's going to affect, what you're listening to, who's in your circle, and things like that. I've actually heard Kamai before. She was on Lil Yachty's album. She also with YG as well.
All around me.
I guess they
it's
come
a
as
package deal.
Yeah. YG's like, yeah, I'm going to spit 2 lines. I'm going to mention broccoli, and then I actually like Kamai. I thought she was the best.
I thought that song was the best Yachty song on that album.
Yeah, but I thought I'll change it to. I thought that was the only good song on that album that wasn't an already previously released single. So
Say My Name.
No.
I want you to say my name. All right.
Yeah, we can.
That's you. That's you, bro. That's you.
We can continue this conversation.
Okay.
But we definitely have strong opinions on that. That's for sure.
Yes.
So
do you want to move away from Freshmen, or do you want to mention somebody else?
I think we should talk about people who.
Well, you had a giant snub list.
I did. I had.
Read through it real quick. Go through all 10. Don't fall on anyone.
Okay.
Start talking.
Yeah. So
he had a 10-person snub list.
Was
That's another list.
No name Gypsy.
Yeah.
Now No Name. D.R.A.M. Joey Perp out of Chicago. Ski Mask. Young Dolph. T Grizzly, Nav, Maxwell Cream, Famous Dex, and YF and Lucci. Those are my 10. Obviously, There's going to be some snubs.
YFN Lucci refused to play music for XXL.
Huh. Okay. That's interesting.
I
heard academics say on Everyday Struggle. I heard him say that he thought YFN should have been on the list. So that's why I thought he would have known if.
Every Day We Lit. Yeah. You like that song?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's played everywhere.
Oh man.
Max O'Cream is someone who I can see.
Talk about him. I'm not as familiar with him.
I don't really know much about him other than just the music, which I think is probably better because I don't think you have to know someone completely, like their whole profile, in order to validate them as an artist.
I think it helps with marketing in this day and age, but...
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm not here to promote Max O'Cream. I'm just a fan talking about rap. So I think his song Granny's is one of the best songs that I've heard this year in terms of just like the flow and delivery. And people were actually telling me about him like last year in the fall, and I forgot about him, and then I listened to him, and I'm like, oh yeah, this people were trying to put me on to him. So I think with a few more singles like Granny's, I think he can definitely have a good push into 2018. Definitely make a compelling case for the cover. Young Dolph is actually interesting. Young Dolph is super interesting.
Yeah.
He came out with a project in April. I believe it's called Bulletproof. You might need to fact check me on that.
No, that's right.
But, only 10 songs, not super overwhelming, but super tight in terms of just all the, songs on there. And I feel like he does a good job in that framework of 10 songs. And, he keeps the listener engaged. And he was also on Gucci Mane's recently released Drop Top WAP. He was on, I think, which I would describe that song that he's on Gucci Mane's album as the best posse cut of the year. The song's called Both Eyes Closed. It's with Gucci Mane, 2 Chainz, and Young Dolph. And that song blew me away. I think that's in one of the front runners for posse cuts of the year. Obviously, we're only halfway through the year, but yeah, it's a very good song.
I'm checking it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll bump it later. But he's someone who I feel like has that southern grit, and I want to see what he can do because he's been around. I've heard of him for like a few years, so I'm just willing to see what's going to happen in these next few years in terms of where he takes his career and the moves he decides to make. So
awesome!
Definitely
shout out to him.
Shout out Young Dolph.
Do we want to talk about the influx of albums that came out in just 2 weeks, maybe?
Sure. Yeah. So
what's your favorite? Let's start at your favorite.
Are we gonna how far are we going back this year?
Last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks.
That will be plenty of time talking.
I don't know when Drop Top WAP came out. I feel like
that can be talked about.
Okay.
How do you feel about that project?
Amazing.
Because Gucci's put out
work
in 12 months. I think it's 12 or 12 to 16 months. He's put out 8 tapes, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
And so this one was actually recorded in a two-night span, and it was only limited to 10 songs reported from Gucci because Metro Boomin, who produced the whole album, along with Gucci Mane himself, fell asleep. And I guess that's what limited it from being more, but I think that was a good thing. There's only 10 songs on this one as well. So I think Gucci Mane, he's someone who can, shoot himself in the foot with subject matter, talking about the same thing. But, with only 10 songs and Metro Boomin producing every one, he has the perfect opportunity to come in, speak his piece, and then just on to the next track. And also, he has some dynamite features. He has Offset on the song Met Gala, which is definitely a contender for verse of the year.
Yeah.
And we can talk about Offset, too, because I feel like Offset's having a very impressive 2017.
Did you hear Intruder?
Yes.
Intruder. Oh, yes. Man.
Monday. He's had...
Put him to bed. All these haters talking about, Quavo and Takeoff need to be...
Offset is definitely... He's been killing features since day one, and he continues to prove it. I felt like Drop Top WAP was incredible. I feel like if you have Metro on... I feel like it did something for me that X didn't... Was that 21 Savage's album, The Metro? Was that
X?
Yeah. I feel like there was a way Gucci complimented more than 21 Savage was. Maybe it was the fact that 21 was a newer artist, and I feel like Gucci's prominence just in the rap game, even when he's gone, everyone's like free Guwap.
Right.
He came back and he definitely made an impression with this, and I think it's one of the better releases of this year. And then of course we have Young Thug, Beautiful Thugger Girls.
Love this guy.
We have 2 Chainz, Pretty Girls Like Trap Music.
We
can
Joyner Lucas. What was his called?
You know I'm not gonna
it's like a telephone number. It's like 508 something 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 something.
We can talk about Lil Yachty, even though it's not.
We can talk about Lil Yachty. Is this Spotify you're on?
This is it.
Okay.
I'm just looking at
I really like Young Thug. Pretty Girls Like Trap Music is dope. Like just so much good music. I really want to take a moment to acknowledge Joyner. He had a spectacular album full of like cool conceptual songs like Keep It 100 and like great messages. I remember the day it came out, we were just like, I don't wanna be someone like you. It's just like it's like so infectious. Like he really can like bring these good songs that don't get drudged down in the message and make them fun and bring some like really good production on the hook and just make excellent music. So
shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
On the way up.
How do you feel about Thug? I think he's development wise and putting this out. And where he's at in his career.
I'm not, so I don't know. Everything Young Thug says and does, I take with a grain of salt.
I want to add one more question to this.
Sure.
Everyday Struggle asked, "Is Young Thug a star?"
I know, I didn't even watch that. That's not. I think I watched the first 2 minutes.
Oh my god!
What did they have to say? Was it?
You're not Future, basically. Like if you're not Future, like and you're in that lane. You're not a star,
it's like apples and oranges.
And you're obviously still chasing Future, but he's definitely a star. Like I couldn't even listen to that.
I remember last year I was singing
like a superstar.
When Slime Season 3 came out, I was singing with them. I was like, I got some birds like I'm Julio, and someone was like, "Is that Future?" And I was like, No. I was like, I can kind of see it, but I don't think it's fair to even put them in the same conversation,
right?
Because
Future's not wacky.
They're totally different.
Thug is wacky.
Yeah, that's why I don't get people don't like him because of his lyrics. They don't get like the gimmick that is Young Thug.
Yeah.
They don't get Jeffrey.
The voice.
They don't understand what he's trying to do.
Oh, man.
They try to like I don't know. They try to compare him next to Future, and they put his lyrics under a microscope. They try to assign different meanings to his words, and it's like that's not the type of artist he is. Definitely on this new album though, I think there's progression.
Compared to his previous work, I guess.
Yeah, he's just he's one of the best like voices in the game in terms of how he can
definitely
just like take any type of standard beat and just ride it and and make tweaks to his voice to just enhance the listening experience. And he does it. I think he does it with such ease and it's so effortless that's what draws people in. Like there's this aura around Young Thug, and it's just I don't think it's fair to compare them in the future. Because I don't think they don't make the same music. You can call them both crooners, but it's like apples and oranges.
I have to make the point is that there was a point where I didn't like trap music, and I was just like, Migos, Future. I had to like Young Thug before I could like any of these other people.
Really? So he was your gateway into trap.
He was my gateway into trap.
That's interesting.
For sure. I don't because I like. Machine Gun Kelly, Schoolboy Q, and then it was like Thug was just like the second coming.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people say drill was like it's another type of.
I'd throw Chief in there too.
Yeah. So it's funny because T.I. tried to. I'm not sure when this was. I think this was an interview with T.I. and obviously some New York radio. But he tried to say that he was like the pioneer of trap music, like in 2006 when he. Yeah. I just thought that was funny. Okay. Back to Young Thug.
Well, I would say back to Chief because we did want to get back to Chief.
Sure.
Do you have a final verdict on Young Thug? I guess.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of fans are gonna like compare it to Jeffrey. Jeffrey was his last release in 2016, and that was a very tight track listing, 10 songs, and just like glossy production back to back. I thought this was, he kind of advertised Beautiful Thugger Girls as a singing album.
Yes.
But there's still times when he goes in and it's just, I feel like I feel like he can't make bad music even if he tried. This is just like, I don't know. Songs I didn't even think. He can say things that are so ridiculous if you just read them on paper, but the way he says it and you just listen to it in the car or like through your speakers and you're like, this doesn't sound bad, but if you were to sing it along, like people might look at you weird. But that's the type of artist Young Thug is. He can say things in a way where it sounds good and it's acceptable.
I feel like it's getting dark. Can you just throw that light on?
Yeah.
I have to totally agree.
But no, and he has a song with Future, and this is why you can't. They feed off each other so well. They complement each other beautifully, and it's like when Wale and Meek Mill used to rap together and like tit for tat. You know, that's what they do on this song. It's like, you know, they go in together on the hook, and then they split the verses, but it's, you know, they just match each other's energy, and it's one of the better features from Future in a while too. But overall, this album, that Snoop Dogg and Lil Durk on it too. If you want to know more about features, but yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. You know, I don't think there are songs on Jeffrey I like a little bit better, but overall, I think I'm gonna be listening to this for a while, like
nice.
even years to come. Just
I haven't sat with it a lot. I'm sure I love it. I'm sure I'll love it. Thug is my guy.
Yeah, absolutely top 5.
I'm
not saying all time, top 5 right now. He might be my top 5 all time, but you know, in terms of what I personally like listening to.
Yeah, I gotta say,
when you say top 5, everyone thinks that's like, you know, in stone top 5 all time. Like Jay-Z needs to be in there.
Don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's another day. But yeah, just to wrap it up.
How encumbered.
BTG. I'll give it an 8 out of 10 right now. I'll sit with it for a little bit longer, but
dope. And I'm sure he's gonna drop new music.
Oh yeah, like, you know, mixtapes.
This really feels like like a not a tide me over, but it really feels like okay, I haven't put out something in a while. I'm gonna try something different, but it, you know, the debut album must be somewhere in the clouds.
Yeah, iTunes exists somewhere.
You know, iTunes gotta be in the plans or something.
But just to wrap up talking about that, I think what made this album really good is the fact we didn't really hear about it and then it just came out.
Right.
But probably what made Cardi good too. I mean, we heard a few songs, and I feel like with 2 Chainz' new album, Pretty Girls Like Trap Music, you kind of, like, Good Drink is on there, and that's been out for what, like a year now?
Yeah.
It's just about a year, so it's like some of these songs that come up and you're just like, I've heard. It doesn't take away from the quality of the other songs that are new, but at the same time, it's like, I guess we want some new material.
It's nice to have a fresh package to look forward to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, talking about Chief Keef. What did we want to say about him? He has new music, right?
He does have new music. He has Thought
What's
Breaker.
It called? Thought Breaker.
Yeah.
I have not listened to Thought Breaker, but I certainly will this week. Talk to me about it.
You know, that's something I probably listened to it about as much as you listen to Beautiful Thugger Girls.
Okay.
But you know, it doesn't sound like typical like Chief Keef. He has some Young Chop production on there, but just like stylistically, it's really different from like, you know, anything he's come out with in the past few years. I want to talk about something he released earlier this year, which I'm just really starting to get into. And
I'm going to be so embarrassed to have not heard this either.
No, it's okay. So this was it came out 2017. Yeah, it came out. I think it came out.
Well, I know what's the single off that? The really big single that begins with an R.
Running Late. Rifa,
I listened to. That track is dope. Oh wait, is Kills on there?
No.
What's Kills on?
Kills was just like a
Kills
single.
is just a world star single.
Yeah,
that's dope.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's really. So I thought Thought Breaker was gonna be like that, or have it on it, and no, it's not on there, and it doesn't sound anything like that. But that's not bad. That just shows you how versatile
he's got a lot of music.
There's very few artists you can listen to nowadays, like current upcoming artists, that don't take from Chief Keef at some point.
Oh man,
and it's crazy how, and no one admits it, but he's crazy, and like he influences almost like everyone.
I agree
in some way. It could be the most. It could be the smallest detail.
Agree, dude. Yeah. Even just like all rappers now, kind of just look like Chief. Like they just do their hair like Chief, and then like dye it or like put rubber bands in it.
Yeah, no.
Like
he's influential in terms of looks too. Like having guns and like music videos.
Yeah.
Lil Pump. I'm not saying Lil Pump.
He's another one that he takes from it.
Yeah, for absolutely. Sure. But yeah, 2017 effort. I listened to effort, and it's definitely weird. Like you listen to it, and it doesn't sound like because there's some Chief Keef that's like produced really well and it's high quality, but there's some of this that you can tell was just kind of thrown together. But that raw aesthetic definitely makes it better overall, and it feels more true to Chief Keef. I'm expecting big things from him.
He's the king of that. He's the king of like the, I wouldn't even say half done song, but just like underproduced song that is still a banger. So I think, we both think that Chief Keef isn't necessarily reaching his potential. What do you want him to do outside of stay out of trouble? Granted, he's probably younger than us still.
I think he's 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. As one or 21, I don't even know.
He's a legend.
Young, and he's done so much and got away with so much that it's ridiculous for how old he is. I don't think he'll ever stay out of trouble. So I think that's just gonna...
Okay.
But, he's on this steady climb. And, you read other publications and they say that Chief Keef really, like, fell off the map once he...
That's what the industry wants you to think. That, this guy that's not signed to a major isn't doing well. Chief Keef makes money. Chief Keef's on the road. Chief Keef vlogs.
I think you're doing well if you could do, like, 10 music videos in your mansion and just accrue, like, millions of views per one of those videos.
Maybe you're a factor.
The fans talk, numbers talk, absolutely. I want to see him. I like when he's on features. I like when he was on.
No.
He was on Ransom 2. He did a song with Ray Shremmerd.
Gotcha.
That song is one of my favorites this year. Come Down.
I liked his song on Ransom 1 with Gucci, and I won't remember it, but hard.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I might play that for you. You might have never heard it. Shout out to the Ransoms. I've been listening to Perfect Pint recently, and I'm like, Kendrick, wow. Kendrick and Gucci, and I'm like, and Ray Shremmerd. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, this is such a good song, and this is about Chief Keef, but Michael Will always makes like a judgment call of like doing a not so trap song and betting the house, and that's why he's one of the greatest producers of right now.
Absolutely. So I think he needs to just experiment and work with more producers.
Chief Keef, yeah.
The person, I forgot who produced 2017, but they said this producer, like, I should look it up really quick. We should sidebar.
We're talking about producers. Shout out DP Beats.
Do you wanna talk about Lil Yachty in the meantime?
Yeah, let's argue. Let's have an argument. We've just been on the same page the whole time. Let's have an argument.
White guy, black guy, two different sides.
No.
Never get along.
This is why Teenage Emotion was spectacular.
Okay.
First of all, I have to address the numbers because just to see the word flop around the sales numbers of 44,000 in this climate is wild to me. If you're doing 44,000 on your opening week, you are a very solid mid-level artist. Period. No one is paying for music. Everyone is streaming stuff. If you come out and do 44,000, you are a mid-level artist in the music game right now. Undeniably. Okay. That is out of the way. In terms of how I like the music, I really like a lot of this record. I'm going to pull it up on my Apple Music right now.
I got it.
You got it. Here. You got it, Brody.
Remind you of the track list.
I don't like these singles where he tries to go hard but ends up saying shit like peekaboo, peekaboo. X-Men, definitely catches that fade as well. What Lil Yachty did well is he's had the concept of this is about teenage emotions, and when I think of what are you doing, bro?
Okay.
You went away from it. Okay.
It's right here. It didn't go anywhere.
Well, I which is funny.
I don't like. You can remember the songs.
Got him. I don't like a song on here until track 6. All Around Me. That's the best.
You don't like Harley?
I like Harley.
Harley's okay.
All right. I don't like a song on here until track 5. Actually, I do like a Star, but it's just weird.
So I'm going to tie in what we were just talking about to track 6. So All Around Me, produced by Lex Luger. He's the one who produced 2017 Cheap Beat. Had not produced a really notable hit since Wiz Khalifa and Travis Scott's Bake Sale.
Let him know.
So yeah.
So shout out to him.
People were saying it was a good fit for both of them because they were both trying to, get the spotlight. back to them. But yeah, back to Lil Yachty.
Back to Lil Yachty. No, let's talk about the songs that are excellent. All Around Me, excellent. Say My Name, excellent. Forever Young, excellent. Running with the Ghost, excellent. No More, excellent. Made of Glass, excellent. And I kind of hear this argument a lot of like, well, he should have just done less songs on this. Mm-hmm. And what I like about all those songs I mentioned is that, to me, when I think of, teenage emotions and being kind of whiny, I guess we might make a video at some point about the pussification of rap, which there's this whole diagram we have that starts at the top with Kid Cudi and then goes down into every single artist that exists right now that isn't just about bars.
Rappers.
I feel that Lil Yachty produced a project, Thunder and Lightning. I feel that Lil Yachty produced a project that was Drake-like in its like Marvin Room swag, and then he brings his elements of just being like an abstract kind of rapper that does a lot of, heavy synth to his voice, and I feel like he's turned the wheel on that sound. That sound that people like, which is like, the woe is me rapping fusion. And I think it's very important that he did. I very much enjoyed that part of the album, and I stand by this album. I think it's the level of music he should have put out. Everyone wants to compare it to the mixtape. I also don't think it was better than the mixtape, but I think it was good.
It's interesting how you say that. At least, yeah, I think it's unfair to compare the two, but it's also, I feel like the mixtape didn't do him any wonders in terms of future releases, which is now this one. I think Lil Bo, I think Lil Yachty's an artist who just like, he was doing whatever when he was in college. He was like,
2 minutes.
What's that?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay. I feel like the clock is ticking. He was in college. He was fucking around on GarageBand. He was experimenting with auto-tune. He was experimenting with kind of vocal pitch and like, oh, in Minnesota. And then his regular voice, and that kind of, the split personality of Lil Bo and Lil Yachty was the kind of the voice change. And I think it was this really undeveloped idea. I think it was a half-hearted attempt, but I think that's what made Lil Boat so good, is that no one expected it to be good, but here comes this guy after Fetty Wap's fame kind of was derailed, and he's like a crooner, he's singing about being happy, he's not even really rich yet, and he's happy with everything he has, and it was just this refreshing, like, I hadn't heard of it since when I first heard Chance. I was like, here's a guy who is happy with what he's doing, he's walking down the street and he feels good about himself. I heard Lil Boat, and I was like, this is someone who's just like, he was tired of what he was doing, he was tired of being in school, he wasn't understood, and so he left, he made this tape, and, that was like the ultimate expression of who he was at the time, and I feel like it might have doomed him for the rest of his career, because I feel like a lot of stylistic changes he made from Lil Boat to this didn't work for him, and I guess, that's what it comes down to.
That's the verdict.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely let us know how you feel about Lil Yachty, Young Thug, 2 Chainz, Joyner Lucas, Fetty Wap, Gucci Mane, all these artists. This is the Organized Sound Podcast. We have so much more to come. We're going to keep it rolling out this content. We're going to keep doing interviews. We're going to keep getting interesting people on here. And we're going to keep getting to the issues. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Mahib. This is my lovely co-host, Sean. And we're signing out.